Greetings, YouTube. This is one of those videos that I feel like I could go a number of places to start. Because I have heard so many complaints about this recently that it's almost like I don't know where it isn't. But I also know that this is not, of course, news, and that the game has evolved and will evolve every patch, sometimes after every emergency maintenance, sometimes after every scheduled maintenance. So, essentially, here's the deal. Most of the fights that I do are in the arena. So, I've written down a number of complaints about AI that summoners have told me via line, sometimes even over like Twitter direct message, but also just things I've seen in my own experience. Yes, the arena sucks. That's going to be the case no matter what arena you play. Even if it's the easiest fights in the world, it's still monotonous and boring and, yes, soul-sucking. But lately, I've noticed a couple things about especially the 6-star feature and 6-star basic, for those of you that have access to this. And I realize if you're not uncollected, you don't. First off, I have seen way more Doctor Dooms in the past couple months than ever before. But more than that, I have seen the Cable Apocalypse synergy combo in so many spots. That's in addition to the usual Void, Killmonger combo, etc. The champion, though, that has cost me multiple fights because he literally freezes until you are forced to dash in is Kingpin. Kingpin will get to a special one, and he'll just stand there. And sometimes I'll pause it, and I'll close the game, and I'll bring it back up. Not quit out, but pause it and come back. And he'll still just be standing there. And then when you dash forward, because you've got no other choice, he magically automatically fires a special one, and that thing wrecks you. King Groot does the same thing once he gets to a special 2. Now, speaking of a special 2, I've also received complaints that the AI either has mastered the ability to shadow parry, as in they look like they're standing still until you dash forward and then they magically parry, or if they're about to get to a special 2, they'll treat it like an all or nothing node until they get to the special 2, and then all of a sudden they'll use it. That's not as bad, though, as, of course, the whole reason why the arenas changed was so it didn't feel like what we always refer to as, and I've already referred to in this video, as an all or nothing node. And yet, we're still seeing examples where champions will not fire a special until they get to their special 3, and they'll be trapping you in the corner until then. I've seen this especially with Apocalypse, but also Nick Fury. And yes, Nick Fury still shows up a lot on these arena matchups as well. But that is just one aspect of the game where the AI has evolved. Of course, two of the most common AI scenes, AI battles, AI experiences are Alliance Quest and Alliance War, which also have the highest stakes. Now, this may or may not be your experience. I can only go off of the stories that I'm told of Alliance War because I don't do Alliance War. But I've been told again that parry especially, but also just the hesitancy of specials is worse than ever. It's more passive than ever. And I don't know what to attribute that to. And there are going to be people who say, I think that's a bunch of BS. I've never seen it. And that's fine. This is just what I'm telling you, not only from my own experience, but also what others have reported. Look, Kabam has a monetary incentive to make the AI better. Because if it was always easy, we wouldn't lose. And if we wouldn't lose, we wouldn't have to spend potions or revives or, yes, units. And they are a for-profit company after all. But it's also not like they're going to put in their patch notes, we improved the AI, it's about to get tougher. No. They're going to do their best to essentially keep it quiet. Speaking of keeping things quiet, it's worth noting that out of the many complaints of variant number 8, the AI and some weird interactions has also been one of the Deadpoolooza variant number 8 complaints. Especially when it comes to boss fights, and I did see this in the very first boss fight, which is the only fight that I've completed so far, with this Staycation Red Deadpooloid, who would either wait to fire a special when I was backed into a corner, or he would just basically make sure that I was forced with the power gain to have to risk dashing forward. Power gain nodes are really tricky with this new AI, and of course, power gain is everywhere in this new variant content. With power gain combined with the AI passive, I guess you could say passive memory, passive action until you dash forward, it's just a recipe to get wrecked. And that, of course, is not when you take into account the fact that the game is still very much broken, with usual parry and dex issues reported, but especially game crashes. Nothing's more frustrating than finally fighting the boss and having a clean run, and then the game crashes. Ugh. I feel like I have PTSD just talking about it. So, the beautiful thing about having a YouTube channel is that I can discuss some things that were reported, but then I can use the comment section as a forum post to hear out, hopefully, two things from you. What device you're playing on, and what specifically you're seeing, whether it be continued bugs, or especially in this case for this video, AI issues. This is here to stay. If you look at old YouTube videos from years ago, it's going to feel like a completely different game because it was a different game. And like I said, Kabam has every reasonable expectation and right to make the AI better, but sometimes that's at the detriment of players, especially when you have a game that's already broken. Well, YouTube, I've said what I need to say. Let's end this video here. No triple ads, nowhere close to 10 minutes. You know how we roll on this channel. Thanks for watching. Thank you in advance for your feedback. Have a great rest of your Friday.